awesome Flatline MMA podcast episode number 16. The Flatline boys are back. We're talking a little UFC 246. Listen, if you guys need CBD, click the link below for 10% off. The code Flatline10. Podcast sponsored by CBD Medic. You already know it by now. So let's get right into it. Kev, starting 2020 off with a bang. We got UFC 246. Listen, I know we just talked about this. Hey, is it the most exciting card in the world? Absolutely not. Is it headlined by the most exciting man on earth? Of course it is. We got Conor. We got Cowboy. But let's talk about some of the more exciting fights within the card, right? So just kind of taking a look at, prelims right now. Really the names that jump out to me, I think, one of the first or second fights just on the prelim here. We have Andre Fili, who's a vet, taking on the up-and-comer Sadiq Youssef, who is a product of Dana White's Contender Series. Personally, when I take a look at this fight, I see Fight of the Night written all over it. I see two guys in Philly who's fought, everyone in that division, right? He's taking a look from everyone. Tough as nails, right? And then you got a guy, Sadiq Youssef, kind of a younger guy, really on the rise. I think this is a big fight for him. So I'm really curious to see how he'll do in kind of an environment like this. And then again, just kind of being on the undercard of a McGregor fight, right? You're going to have the most eyes on you ever. Obviously, we know why Dana put him on this. He's hoping he can shine. He's hoping he can get a knockout here. And then more people are going to know who he is. More people are going to watch him for next time. So, Kev, what do you think about Fili versus Youssef?
Yeah, like you said, it's a good fight. It might be fight of the night. Andre Fili, he's a seasoned vet, fought everybody. And then you got Sadiq Youssef, who's, up and comer. He's been looking great. He's been looking better and better each fight.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's good for both fighters.
Yeah.
It's a good fight for Andre. It's a good fight for Sadiq to get a big name under his belt. That'd be a huge win for him. And Andre Fili, if he gets a win over Sadiq, it's kind of gets his momentum back. But I think I'm going with Sadiq on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I know just for Fili, I feel like he's kind of been a guy that's like always loomed, in the top 15, top 10. He really could just like never break through for like the big fights. He's fought some big names, but to be in that like title contention, I think he's always like one or two fights away, and then he just kind of ends up not being able to take that next step. So, obviously would love to see him win just because he is a vet. He's fought everyone, like I said, but I'm going to agree with you. I think Youssef's going to get it done. This kid's a stud, man. From his, first couple fights in the UFC, I saw him on the Contender Series, and he was getting hyped up by Dana White. Now he's in the UFC. He's kind of delivering on everything he said. So super excited to see what he can do on a big stage there. Next, really to kind of headline the prelims here. I think they did this strategically. One of, I think the future, women's UFC superstars here. We have Macy Barber taking on kind of another seasoned vet, Roxanne Modafferi. Obviously, Macy Barber, undefeated, right? Has looked phenomenal in her first couple of UFC fights. Taking on, Roxanne Modafferi. Obviously, she was a tough finalist, right? So she's tough. She's had her, career in the UFC. I think interesting fight, right? Macy Barber is the biggest favorite on the card right now. I think she's at a minus 11 or 1,200 favorite right now. So it's like Modafferi is getting no respect, but I think this is a dangerous fight. For people that have seen Roxanne fight, she's friggin' tough as nails. It's tough to put her away. But Macy, she's got that different mindset, man. She's got that Conor mindset where she's going to go out. She's looking to finish every fight. She's trying to call her shot. I know we had the privilege of kind of watching her at UFC Boston. Her fight was impressive. Her finish was impressive. So, Kev, what do you think about this one headline the prelims here?
Yeah, Macy Barber, she's, like you said, undefeated, and she's been looking great. She's been finishing fights, been knocking people out, and she really doesn't look like she's been tested, up to this point. I do see Macy as the favorite, but not as drastic as it is right now. I mean, Roxanne, she's had a long career in the UFC, and she's fought a lot of tough people. And I don't think she's been submitted or knocked out in any of her fights. All of her losses have been decisions.
Yeah.
She fought Raquel Pennington, who, like Macy's, hard hitter. She fought Shevchenko's younger sister,
Mhm.
another dangerous striker. So she's been in there for a bit, and she's experienced. So I think this is more of an even fight than
Mhm.
people are expecting, and we'll see how Macy reacts to going into those later rounds, getting into the third round, if her conditioning holds up. Um, and if she doesn't get discouraged with not being able to put her away right away.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think Roxanne poses a few threats for her.
Yeah. No, you said it good there. I mean, it's just obviously Macy's the favorite. She's undefeated. She's young. She's up and coming. She's been impressive in her first couple fights, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's just disrespectful to have her be that high of a favorite on here, especially with someone as tough and durable as Roxanne. You know what I mean? But I think the UFC is definitely riding high on Macy. I think they understand, again, just like Sadiq, right? A lot of eyes are going to be on this card. They did this strategically. They put her on the headliner of the prelim strategically. They're hoping that she could shine. They're hoping that she can put Roxanne away, right? And just kind of move on to the next one. Because I know, I don't know if you saw the interview with Ben Askren, but Ben's kind of not like coaching or not training Macy, but kind of just like coaching, mentoring, you know what I mean? And he predicted like, hey, she's going to be fighting for the title at the end of 2020. So clearly, she's going to be active this year, or the UFC hopes, she hopes. So, I mean, do I see her kind of getting her hand raised on Saturday? Yeah, of course I do. Of course. I'm not, not crazy. But do I think it's going to be a tougher fight? Like you just said, 100%. I think we need to see her go to that later round and see how she's going to do in the third and overcome adversity and be in that environment where there's millions and millions of eyes looking at you. This is going to be the most eyes on her ever. So definitely excited about this one. We'll see what Macy's made of, and we'll see if she can get another finish. But hey, listen, I'm pulling for Roxanne on this one. I would love to see an upset. Love to see it. So prediction, I don't know. I want Roxanne to win, to be completely honest. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Roxanne. I think Macy's striking might be the difference in the fight. Her boxing looks so sharp and so crisp in that last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what impressed me too just about her is that she is finishing. And not a lot of women in the UFC are finishing, right? You got Amanda Nunes who just finishes everyone, but like she's a smaller girl and she's finishing people, and it's pretty impressive. So I will give her that, but still pulling for Roxanne, so I'm hoping she can get that done. Cool. And then just moving on to the main card here. We are, to start off the main card, we have just another UFC vet, Anthony Pettis, taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira in a great fight. It's Anthony Pettis going back down to lightweight after his stint at welterweight. He obviously knocked out Wonder Boy. Yeah, Diaz. He just had the big fight with Diaz, right? Lost that. Kind of coming back down to lightweight, really, where I think he's kind of natural for him, right? Taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira, who's kind of on a tear right now, on a 5-fight win streak. Really, I think he's kind of unknown to most people, but the dude's good everywhere. He's definitely with this, if he beats Pettis, this is a big name. And I feel like Pettis kind of 155 is really that the stepping stone to get to those bigger fights. So I know Pettis wanted to be active, so I know he took this fight. But I take a look at this one. I see Pettis as someone who he's been very consistent over the past couple of years. He's won, then he's lost, then he's won, then he's lost, then he's won. Obviously, he's coming off a loss here to Nate Diaz, which was a huge fight. Nate Diaz's comeback fight. So we'll see how he does coming back down to 155. And then also see how Diego Ferreira does, just kind of being in a big fight again, being on, the biggest card of the year already. He's kind of taken on a UFC vet a guy Pettis is someone that he's tough as nails. He's got great hands. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's really overall, he was a former champ, dude. He's tough as nails. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, when you look at Pettis' record over the past, 2 years since 2018, he's 2-2, which most people wouldn't consider, the greatest. But when you look at the level of competition that he's against, he's fighting all the toughest guys. He's not taking any easy fights.
Yeah.
He's got Ferguson. He's got Wonder Boy, who he knocked out in his first fight at 170.
Yeah.
Fight that he was losing, and he ends up getting the knockout, which is pretty crazy. And then he signs up to fight Diaz in his return fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another battle. So I think I'm gonna go with Pettis with this one, just with the experience.
Yeah.
Just the amount of ring time that he's had, his striking, how creative he can be, how tricky he is. I'm gonna go with Pettis for this one.
Yeah, hard not to go with Pettis, just because he has. I mean, I still think that Wonder Boy knockout still gets me every time, man. Like the fact that he was getting beat up, really the whole fight, and then he just comes out with that friggin' off the cage Superman punch, crazy. And Wonder Boy's never been finished, so that just goes to show you the power that Pettis got in his hands. And when he's on, man. And even when he's down on the scorecards, you can't count Pettis out because he's, like you said, the names he's fought in the past 2 years have been, who else fights like that? You know what I mean? So you got to give respect to that. I don't know did you see him on Ariel Helwani said during the right before the Diaz fight, he cut his hand on the cup that he pissed in. USADA came in like right before the thing. You see that?
Yeah, he's like suing him now.
Yeah, dude. So it was wild, but I've always liked Pettis, man. He was someone that he came into the sport with a bang. You know, obviously WBC lightweight champion, and he comes to the UFC lightweight champion, right? He's a guy he was kind of the first superstar, and then he kind of had problems with his weight and then stuff like that. And now I think after the Wonder Boy fight, he kind of got his groove back, and then obviously the big Nate fight, we know how that went. But at the end of the day, I think Pettis he's tough as nails, man. He's a guy who always comes to fight. I don't think he ducks anyone. I think he's kind of the definition of he'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I love that about him. But can't overlook Ferreira, man. He's up and comer 5 straight in the UFC. That ain't easy to do. So obviously a lot of people don't know too much about him. So hopefully he can make a name for himself on Saturday night, gain a couple new fans, right, and then maybe get that big stepping stone fight after this, right? Okay, perfect. And then next we have women's strawweight fight. This one's going to be exciting. We got Claudia Gadelha versus Alexa Grasso. These are 2 names I feel like we're always hearing in strawweight, right? 2 tough as nails girls. Claudia, again, she's kind of fought everyone at strawweight, right? She's got some pretty good. She fought, Joanna twice, right? She's a beast. Yeah, she's got Carolina on there, Jessica Andrade, Carla Esparza. So she's someone that's fought everyone, right? And then you got someone like Alexa Grasso, who's, kind of the same thing. She's got a great record, 11-3, coming off a loss to Carla Esparza. I think overall these are 2 of most talented girls in the strawweight division. So I'm excited to see them just friggin', go at it. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, the nice thing about this fight is that it actually has some implications for the rest of the division.
Yeah.
You get Claudia, who's fought for the belt a few times. Like I said, fought Joanna. Mm-hmm. And then Alexa Grasso, who's been looking great in her past few fights. She's kind of the up-and-comer. And Claudia is the vet who's looking to make her way back to a title shot. So this could be one of those fights that, moves one of them closer to getting another title shot. So that's why I like this fight. The rest of the card, there's really no fights that have any implications for the rest of the division, And this is one of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. This one's definitely on the more exciting side, like you said. I love that there's implications there. I think, like you said, I think this card was strategically placed by, Dana and the gang, right? They wanted to put some people on there that really, I think they want to bring more viewers to this. And I think putting this big strawweight fight on there, right, that just helps with the women's strawweight division. It's going to bring more eyes to there. They have a big fight coming up with Weili Zhang and Joanna, right? So that's going to be huge, and it does make that number 1 contender slot. So, and this one, to be honest, this is a tough one. But if I were to pick right now, I might go Claudia. I really think so. Think so?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because she's already fought Joanna twice, and she was in the second fight, especially she was winning the beginning of the fight, and then ended up fading out towards the end. But I kind of see Alexa Grasso having like the same type of style where she's really like physique wise, she's lean, she's a little bit taller. Her striking's pretty similar. She's got really fast hands. But I think Claudia's got the experience behind her.
Yeah.
To get this win.
Yeah, so this one should be a fun one. Yeah, I mean, the women's strawweight division, believe it or not, it's kind of stacked right now. So it's going to be good when this one happens, because we'll kind of see, maybe that true number one contender, right? I know they got a title fight coming up, so it's good to see the kind of the pieces come together in that division. So that's going to be a super fun one. And then, we got the co-main, right? We got Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington. Kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really interest me too much, right? You got Holly, who is just constantly just fighting for the title in every division, right? She would win, lose, she's everywhere, right? Yeah. You got Raquel Pennington that kind of, really just fought for the title last year. I think it was last year. So it's like, I mean, this fight doesn't really mean anything. I think if I'm looking at this right now, I got Raquel upsetting Holly Holm, to be honest. I think Raquel, she had her loss to obviously Amanda Nunes, right? And then she kind of lost to Jermaine Durandamy, right? But then she's back in the win column. I think she's improved a lot. And I know this is a rematch for a lot of people that don't know that, right? So it's like first fight, Holly took it. I feel like it could have went either way. I feel like Holly's not on the decline, but her level of opponents that she faces are just so good that she just can't get up that. Like, she won the championship, and then ever since then, it just kind of went downhill from her. Raquel Pennington, someone who's super tough, right? She went 5 rounds with Nunes. Went 5 rounds, 5 tough rounds. So it's like all I can say about this one is I see an upset from Pennington. So I don't know what you think, but
yeah, no, I think the same thing. And like the way I think with Holly Holm is like ever since she beat Ronda Rousey, since then she's 2-5.
Crazy.
She's 2-5, and she keeps on getting title shots and co-main event spots and stuff like that. So I don't know, and I really haven't been too impressed with her in her past couple of fights. She just looks like I don't know, like anxious, or I don't know. She doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't. She doesn't look comfortable in there. So the first fight that they had was really close. You could even say that Raquel won that one, but I think with this one, Raquel's going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I see an upset there. Even just like you're right, watching Holly just like fight, even after like the whole Ronda thing, it's like, where has that skill been? Like, I feel like we haven't seen that boxing from her. I feel like she's just been so timid. She's been afraid to just let it all go, right? Like that brutal head kick knockout by Amanda Nunes. Like, I saw it all there. It's like Holly Holm doesn't get head kicked. You know what I mean? She head kicks people. And so seeing that, she just couldn't pull the trigger that whole fight. And it was just like watching her like be on the top. And then I wouldn't say she came crashing down, but her level of opponents just were so goddamn good along the way. And she just hit a couple speed bumps. But who knows? She could come. We could see some vintage Holly here. But I'm kind of rooting for Raquel now. Obviously, she had her chance at the title, right? Maybe it was too soon for her, whatever. But, I'd love to see her make a run again. I think she's kind of she's a great fighter. Obviously, you take a look at the record, you see, 10-7, not that impressive, but her nickname's Rocky. So, I mean, that's friggin' awesome. So, we'll see there. Obviously, that's in the co-main slot. So, I think at the end of the day, I think it'll be exciting. I know it doesn't excite a lot of people. So, and then cool. And then just moving to the main event. We got the big boy. We got the biggest superstar in combat sports. We got Conor McGregor taking on Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I know we kind of did our last video on this one, but just wanted to touch. I know a lot of stuff's happened within that since our last video. We had Conor McGregor Fight Week press conferences. We've had interviews with him. And we've seen kind of a different side of Conor, man. It's been like respectful. He's come out. He did that big interview with Ariel Helwani, kind of laying everything out. He was like, I was drinking a lot during the Khabib fight camp. I drank, days before the Khabib fight. God only knows. He probably drank the day of, right? Laying out like, listen, I'm sorry for everything I did. I deny all the other crap that's being said about me. Like, I don't know. What's your opinion on like seeing a Conor that's like not, that loud, arrogant, friggin' asshole that like won us all over when he was coming up the ranks and like doing that kind of stuff. I don't know. How did you react to kind of his interviews and stuff this week?
I think it kind of is like his true self.
Yeah.
But when he was coming up, like, I think he realized that he had to also do the entertainment side of it. So that's why he's, going after people and, doing what he did in the press conferences and stuff like that. And that's, it helped him. But now I think he's at a point where you just put his name on a card and it will sell itself. He doesn't have to go out and, talk about Donald Cerrone or make jokes about him or I don't know. He just doesn't have to do any of those antics anymore. I mean, the fight's going to sell regardless. It'd be so much extra effort for him for, I think, would be a little return,
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I think he's refocused. It seems like he's refocused. But then again, every fight is going to say that, they're going through a great training camp. They've never felt better, never felt stronger. Every fight is going to say that. And, he said it before.
Yeah.
So, and we're just going to have to see, time of the fight, what Conor shows up.
Yeah, no, agreed. And then you kind of take a look at the flip side, right? You got Cowboy interviewing all week, and I think he was getting a little pissed off because there was so many people out there just being like, so you're just going to take Conor down, right? Like, you're not going to stand up with him, right? And Cowboy's response is just classic. Cowboy's like, I'm the one fighting. Like, if I want to stand with Conor McGregor, like, I'm going to stand with him. Like, I'm going to see how good this guy's striking is. I'm going to test my chin to see if I can take a punch. And I love that answer from Cowboy because he wants to do what the fans want to see. And the fans want to see him stand in the middle and trade with Conor McGregor. Yeah, do people want to see him submit Conor McGregor? Yes. But Cowboy said it right. Cowboy's like, all you analysts and everything think all I have to do is shoot in and take down Conor McGregor. Like, don't you think that Conor's going to train wrestling? Don't you think Conor's going to train takedown defense? He goes, I'm not Khabib. I'm not some Olympic wrestler. He goes, I'm good on the ground, but you can't expect me to evade all of Conor's punches, take him to the ground, and then submit him like it's that easy. He goes, I got to get by Conor's hands first. So I just think it was a great answer by him. And I think he was getting annoyed by that. And I think people are like, you can't stand with Conor McGregor. No one can. But it's like, the guy's been out for 3 years. I respect Cowboy for being like, well, let's see what he's got. If he's the best striker in UFC history, let him punch me in the chin and see what I can do. So I think just overall, man, like seeing Cowboy like finally get his dues, finally getting paid the big bucks, like for this fight. I know you might have a different opinion. I know you kind of make it seem like Cowboy's like wants to lose this fight or like shit like that. Which it does I will give it to you. It does sound like that a little bit, but I don't know. What did you think about the whole, Cowboys fight week interviews?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously isn't as easy as people make it seem to take Conor down. He really does have a great takedown defense. The only time we've seen him get taken down, really, that I can think of anyway, is against Khabib, who Khabib takes everybody down. And then Chad Mendes, who is a great collegiate wrestler. But other than that, it's hard to get him down. It's not an easy thing to do. Everyone points to the ground being his weakness. But I think Nate maybe took him down at the end of the second fight too. But it's not an easy thing to do. And like you said, like he's going to have to get through his hands. He's going to have to get past his striking range. And Conor's got such great movement. He's not going to stand right in front of you to let you take him down. Yeah. He's not going to put his back up against the cage to get cornered. There's more that goes into it than just taking him to the mat, And even in the first exchange with Khabib, he almost turned the corner and took Khabib's back, which Khabib ended up taking him down anyway. But he defended it pretty good, and he almost went offensive with it. He almost
No.
in the corner and took the back. So I don't know. Connor's got better wrestling than people think, and I think he's got better jiu-jitsu than people think as well. We just haven't seen it in a fight. The only times we've seen it is, he's going against, the highest level grapplers in those two divisions. So, but when you look at Connor's weaknesses, that's been a weakness for him. Where Chad was able to do some ground and pound.
Yeah.
Was able to put him into a guillotine choke, or I don't know if it was a guillotine or a darce that he almost caught Connor in. One of those two. And then, Khabib, choking Connor out. Was able to take him down, ground and pound. Was able to win rounds that way. So that's one of the weaknesses Connor has. So that's, the one that everyone points to, but it's not the easiest thing to do. But we've also seen, him get clipped. You got clipped with Nate Diaz, where he looked a little wobbly, so he decided to shoot, which is totally out of his character. So he was definitely hurt. And then in the Khabib fight, where Khabib fakes a shot, Conor drops his hands, goes to sprawl, and Khabib hits him with an overhand right and drops him.
Wild.
So I think that's going to be what Donald's going to focus on, is creating some type of opening, some type of setup where he can catch him. And I think that's probably his best option, because I think he's going to exhaust a lot of energy trying to take him down, for little return.
Yeah.
And he's going to put himself in a lot of risk if he does try to take him down. But it's a fun fight. They're both so dangerous on their feet for different reasons. Connor's got the great left hand, really accurate, can set it up nice, move around the ring. And Cerrone's got good boxing, but his kicks are something else. And I think that's what he's gonna have to take advantage of, is try to work Connor's body, because those are the big things. It's Conor on the ground, and his conditioning.
Yeah.
Those are the two blaring weaknesses right now for him. And if you set it up correctly, you can tag him. So I think he's going to have to do a mixture of all of those. I think the first two rounds, maybe you should just wear him out, kicks to the body, keep distance. Conor moves around the ring real well.
Yeah.
Maybe taking out his legs, leg kicks, chopping at his front leg. But I think Cerrone has a pretty good chance if he doesn't run in and instantly engage with him. I think it has to be more of a feeling out process, and he has to kind of evade Conor, because I think Conor's going to come out quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you make a good point with the kicks, right? It's like Cowboys' kicks are so good, and we've really never seen anyone utilize leg kicks, head kicks, body kicks against Conor. You think about the one person you would think would do it is Aldo. And Aldo, obviously, we know what happened there, 13 seconds, right? But I am curious to see how Conor can take a fucking body shot, how he can take constant leg kicks, how he can block a head kick. Cowboy has the most head kick knockouts in UFC history, dude. Like, obviously, that's going to be a focal point for Cowboy. And I'm curious to see how Conor is going to defend that, how Cowboy is going to set that up. You know what I mean? Because, if Cowboy in the first keeps nailing Conor with body shots, that's going to take his energy away in the second. And that's going to set up that head kick for Cowboy. But, it's so exciting, man, because this fight, I feel like in my mind, I'm seeing it go 100 different ways. But it's really this fight's not going the distance. It's either a Conor TKO, a Cowboy head kick TKO. Like, that's how I see it going. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I see a body shot. I freaking see Cowboy submitting him. I see so many different things. So it just makes it so exciting. And just the fact that this is starting off, 2020, starting off a friggin' decade with two legends. Obviously, people can make. I know there's a lot of Conor haters out there, but the dude's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He did things to excel this sport. People paid more, whatever. And then you got Cowboy, who fights 7 times a friggin' year, anywhere, anytime, anyone. He's the definition of that. We talk about friggin' Pettis, but Donald Cowboy Cerrone fights literally anyone. He'll fight. I was listening to, he was doing an interview, and the guy was like, yeah, we were kind of like looking at your record, back when he was like an amateur, even starting pro, he was fighting like every 15 days, every 10 days. They would call him on like a Wednesday. He would fight on like a Friday. He would like, yeah, I'd fly out to friggin' Japan. I'd just fight. Like, he's just that kind of guy. He's so badass. And I think, people forget before he went on this 2-fight skid, right? Just first of all, look who he fought. He fought Tony Ferguson and he fought Justin Gaethje. Before that, he won 3 straight off, against friggin' really good guys. I mean, he beat Al Iaquinta, who, arguably Al gave Khabib his toughest fight. Think about that. You know what I mean? So he killed Al Iaquinta. He killed Alexander Hernandez, who was supposed to friggin' beat him up. So, but again, I think when you said we'll see what Conor shows up, I think we got to see what Cowboy is going to show up, because Cowboy tends to shy away from the greatness when he's in a big fight. You know what I mean? He never got to that level. He never got the belt in WC. He never got the belt in the UFC. So it's like when he's in these big stages, like the RDA fight, when he fought RDA for the belt, he got killed. And he just couldn't live up there. But then he goes on this 4-fight win streak. Then he'll lose a couple, then he'll go on a 5-fight win. He's insane, like the way he operates. But he's so active, literally doesn't trash talk. Everyone friggin' loves the guy. And listen, what I love to see Cowboy knock out Conor McGregor. That's the question everyone's been asking me. Like, I'm such a big Conor McGregor fan. Would I love to see Conor McGregor get knocked out by Cowboy? And you know what my answer is? Yes. Honestly. I'm like, it would be a spectacle for Cowboy to knock out Conor McGregor. I think people would go absolutely insane. His haters would friggin' laugh in his face. But it will just go to show you that if you put in the time, Cowboy's got friggin' 20 years of just MMA experience, all this crap. Think about all that hard work and being able to knock out someone that no one's knocked out yet. I think that'd be a great feeling. But at the same time, do I want Conor to win? Yes. And that's what makes this fight so exciting, because I want both of these guys to win. I don't want to see either of them lose, but I just want to see a great fight, a spectacular knockout. So, and I'm just going to hit you with my final prediction here. This is it. Final prediction. Conor McGregor, 2nd round TKO. That's it. Locking it in. Ain't changing my mind. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Because my original thought is the same as yours. I think it's going to be a good first round for Conor, and then he's going to be able to put him away in the second. But, man, I don't know.
Tough.
It depends on how well Cerrone's taking his shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It is a really tough one, but I would have to say Conor 2nd round TKO. But I don't know. It's not a easy decision.
Do you see it going to decision at all?
No.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's just like,
I think we'll get to a point where Conor gets so tired.
Yeah.
But like if the fight does go into the 4th, 5th round, I don't know. His cardio is still, a concern for me.
100%.
And especially like where, I think it was the second Diaz fight where he started kind of running around the ring and looking at the timer. I think that's going to be a huge red flag for Cowboy.
Yeah.
And when you're that tired too, you open yourself up. You make mistakes that you normally wouldn't. And if he leaves his hands down, or I don't know, like I think what Cerrone could do is just pick him apart with body shots, just kick him in the body, because there's not really that much of a risk of a takedown, because Conor wants to keep the fight standing. I don't think he's going to try to grab the leg and take him down. and it's going to take the wind out of him, and it's, could drop his hands and set him up for a nice head kick.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. You look at it and you're right. It's like, can Cowboy have a Nate Diaz chin? Could he just eat everything that Connor does? You know what I mean? I know, you take a look at his last fight. Obviously, Gaethje friggin' floored him in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose hands are better? Is it Gaethje? Is it Connor? The question will be answered on Saturday, because there's a lot of people that love Gaethje that are pissed about this fight, that are like, Connor should have fought Gaethje. Gaethje just put away Cowboy and won. Connor, to me, to earn respect for the lightweight division, for a lot of fans, right, that he's coming back, he's got to put Cowboy away early. He's got to do it faster than people have been doing, because it just shows you that he's got the power. He's still dangerous. You know what I mean? And then, that sets up a bigger fight, whether that's Jorge, whether that's Justin next, whether that's Diaz, whatever the hell it is. There's a lot in the line, man. For Connor, for Cowboy, I feel like it's just a win-win. You know what I mean? Everyone loves him, and he's getting paid on Saturday, right? For Connor, it's a win-lose, because, yeah, he's getting paid, whatever the hell, it's $80 million, whatever he's getting paid. But if he loses this one, what does that say about him? What does it say about his legacy? What does it say about everything? He has way more to lose on Saturday than Cowboy, and that's why I think Cowboy's going to go in relaxed. And yeah, it looks and feels like Connor's laser focused. He gave up drinking, he did all that crap, but again, ring rust could be real, man. And whether his excuses with the Khabib fight and whatever, we're going to see who shows up on Saturday night, because he's got a lot to lose. Obviously, the guy's got everything in the world. He's got all the money in the world, all the cars, got everything. He's got his businesses, but in terms of fighting, his legacy, this is a big fight. So I'm just excited for this one, man. I can't wait to watch this one. I can't wait to see who gets their hand raised. Listen, 246 isn't the most exciting card in the world, but we've said that before, and every fight's been a friggin' knockout, right?
Yeah.
So 246, headlined by McGregor and Cerrone. It's going to be a hell of a night. A lot of up-and-coming stars, a lot of fighters that the UFC's pushing on here. Definitely prelims. I think the prelims might be a little more exciting than that. The first, 3 fights in the main card, 4 fights in the main card, right? So keep your eyes out. UFC 246. We haven't had UFC in a friggin' month. I know we've been friggin' dying. So super excited for this card. Really starting off 2020 on a high note with the, biggest superstar in the sport. He's coming back since his, Khabib fight. Cowboy's coming back since friggin' last week. You know what I mean? So, but awesome. UFC 246, ESPN Plus, Saturday night. Listen, for all you guys, 2020 need CBD. Click the link below. Use the code Flatline10 for 10% off. Get your CBD needs. I think Gronk still uses it. You should use it. Meantime, Flatline MMA. Peace.